What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Stats and Facts, where we have all the stats.
And we have all the facts.
I go by DJG94.
And I go by one. And y'all already know how we do it.
So let's get into it. This guy right here, we got a pro baller, a basketball coach, and a sports agent, Hellion Knight. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro? Everything all right, man? Locked and loaded, ready to get it in with y'all, see what y'all got to talk about tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Welcome to the show, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all too, man.
Yes,
Stepping
sir.
in, taking y'all time out to fool with me, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to start out with the first question, bro. What was it like growing up in White Castle, Louisiana?
Real small town, one red light, everybody knew everybody. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best either. Rough, man. You had to fight for everything. You had to, whatever you needed, you had to fight for it. Anything you had to fight so nobody would take it from you. So either way, it was gonna be a fight. So it was just kind of those, we're a basketball driven community too as well. So, it was these two things. You're gonna learn how to fight, you're gonna learn how to play basketball. It's two things you're gonna learn how to do coming up in White Castle.
Yeah. So, like, coming up, like you just said, those two things being the top things that you're gonna get into. Like, when did sports become a part of your life?
I've been playing basketball all my life. I started organized basketball at age 4. I've been rocking with the basketball, but it got to a point where basketball became more important to me, more valuable to me, probably like by my senior in high school, when I kind of realized that was my way out. My high school coach told me, man, he just gave me ball, said it's gonna be a meal ticket. He really didn't understand what he meant. I was young, foolish, like whatever. But I guess he seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. So he was like, man, it's gonna be a meal ticket right here. And little did I know, I went to college for free. So not only went to college, I played overseas, got paid to play this game. I've coached this game, so it's been making way for me ever since then throughout my life. So I guess he was right when he said it was a meal ticket, because that's the way I've been eating.
Yeah, man, that's dope.
Okay. So tell me, man, about your high school to college, your senior year. I see you averaged 21 points. So tell everybody, first of all, how tall you are, what position you was playing back then. You seem like a 2 guard or something.
Man, 5'11" point guard, man. You know what I'm saying? But I was a combo more, so I could play on and off the ball.
Right.
So yeah, that year, man, we had probably the best backcourt in the state of Louisiana. Both me and my backcourt mate Jamal. He averaged 20, I averaged 21. We both was all Metro, coach district MVP, parish, player of the year, all this. Pretty much our first team all state. Basketball in Louisiana was at an all-time high pretty much back then. You had some pros in that class. Tyrus Thomas, lottery pick. You had Big Baby Davis, an NBA champion. We had some guys in that class. So that basketball then it's a little different than it is now. But yeah, man, I averaged 21 in, but man, I was more athletic. I got, I'm heavy now. I look like a football player now, but back then I was in shape, run and jump with anybody. Like that was my thing. But I never had a problem putting the ball in the goal, man. That was my thing. Like it was nothing. I step in the gym and go get 20 in the night. So
yeah. Yeah.
Nah,
that's hard, man. So with you like balling out in high school, was it like did you have certain colleges in mind, or like did you know kind of like where you were leaning towards going after high school?
Man, it's kind of crazy because coming from where we come from, we don't have that college vision, man. We really in the mud in the middle of the cane field. And I never played AAU basketball then either, because I didn't know nothing about AAU. You know what I'm saying? I just knew high school basketball. In the summer, I played with my high school team. I didn't know nothing about traveling and getting out and playing with different teams. Like, that wasn't the thing for us. Like, and if I'd have known a little more about that, I think that would have helped my experience as far as, like, having a vision for college and this, that, and the other. It wasn't no guarantee that I was going to get to college. And then when I did have a look from, like, Florida A&M, I had a situation, somebody, put in the word for me. They checked me out. They started reaching out, but then I didn't have the grades at the time. Back then I was about 8, 9 toes in the street, 2 in the gym, so it should have been the other way around. So at the time, I wasn't even going to school after basketball season. So I didn't have the grades even qualify for FAMU. And then it got to a point where we started talking about college. Like, I didn't even believe I was going to go to college. Then one night a coach came to one of my games from a junior college away in Wyoming in the middle of nowhere. Seen me play. He went to go watch somebody actually. And then I ended up having a great night that night. Then he ended up hanging around, and that's how I ended up in college. Just really on by the grace of God on some mistake. He went to watch somebody else, and I just happened to be in the gym, and be the best player that night.
Man,
that's really what.
Yeah, ready.
Me and Warren be talking about that, man. We say a lot of high school athletes, to be honest, they just don't care for school like that, but they got talent. Sometimes, God put that, put a blessing on you, and you get a scholarship off of whether it's JUCO, Division I, D2. You just want to get out of your environment, try something different. So that was a blessing in disguise for you.
Yeah, cause it was that, man, definitely a blessing. Because then even when he had other colleges that started coming around later, they all were junior colleges. Because once I found out I wasn't gonna qualify, a lot of them started coming too. But it was just one of the things where I had a lot of schools next door in Texas, some Mississippi junior colleges right next door. But I ended up way in Wyoming at the top. It's just one of the things. I was always, like I said, I was in the streets, man. I was in trouble all the time, man. And my dad really just convinced me that, like, look, this is where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? This man really wants you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, that's Wyoming. Bro, I don't know nothing about Wyoming. But his was, when I look back on it, he's seen the fact that I need to get far away from my environment as possible. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of far down too. So he knew what I didn't know at the time. And I'm thinking, well, I could just go to one of these Texas JUCOs in Mississippi. I could be close to home. Had a girlfriend at the time too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about all that. He ain't worried about none of that. He just worried about getting me far away. So I come back home, and that was the best thing for me. When I look back in hindsight, that was the best decision I could have ever made at that time.
Yeah. So, man, Wyoming, like, can you tell us about that, like, about your college experience? And then also I seen it say where you transfer, right?
Yep.
So tell us about that.
Well, all right. So like I said, Wyoming was a crazy experience, probably one of the worst experiences of my life, but it shaped my entire life from then forward. Come from South, Southern, White Castle, Louisiana, going to, Wyoming, not really. The only black folks on campus was the basketball team, which only happened to be like 3 of us at the time. At the Christmas break, the other 2 quit and went home. I was the only black player left on the team. You know what I'm saying? Even within the community, it was rough because, everybody look at you different out there. It was a crazy experience. You talking about snowing. I remember it was like August 23rd. We had snow on the ground. Like I just got to school a weekend. It's snowing in August. Like I'm not used to that. Conditioning in the mountains, 4 mile mountains. You know what I'm saying? Just cold, freezing temperatures, 5 in the morning. Like it was more mental than anything. And I see why some of the other guys did quit. It was a lot. Like it took a lot to stick that out. But at the end of the day, I feel like I was a warrior, and even when I wanted to quit, so I just couldn't find it in me to just, like, I don't believe in, not finishing what I start. So, and that's kind of been instilled in me all my day. If you started, you got to finish it. So even when I wanted to quit it, man, I just couldn't let myself do it. And I'm glad I didn't. Since then, I can live anywhere. I lived in so many countries, states, and cities since then, and I'm unfazed. No matter where I'm at, I'm cool. So I went from that, and like I say, it was a crazy experience, not the norm. But my assistant coach took another job at a JUCO in Kansas. So originally, the coach that recruited me to Wyoming, the head coach the previous year, he's the one. He took another job in Kansas. So I played that year in Wyoming for a coach who didn't even recruit me. So it was over with. My coach went with the head coach who actually recruited me to Wyoming, and that's how I ended up going to Kansas with both of them. They brought me with them, to go play in the Jayhawk conference. Better conference, one of the toughest conferences in the nation. You know what I'm saying? When you talking about JUCO basketball, so it was a better opportunity for sure. So yeah, I went from Wyoming to there, and like I said, it wasn't much different off the court. A lot of, I dealt with a lot of racism for sure at a high level. You know what I'm saying? I was just talking about this last night with one of my other friends. Just, I'd had some near-death experiences out there, but I had to stand up and be a man at the end of the day. Yeah, it was different. Wyoming was something totally different, but that's how I ended up in Kansas.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, one thing about you said racism, to me, man, I don't think that's ever gonna change, because like Tupac said it in his song, he named it, we in the white man's world.
Believe that.
So we either gonna have to fight through it, yep.
Believe that.
And stick together as a family and stuff. But explain to us, man, after 2 years of junior college, this is impressive and a blessing. You got to go overseas. So that means you playing in a pro league, get paid after 2 years of junior college. You ain't even go to a D1 school, to
Right.
finish, the last 2 years out for a degree or stuff. So tell us about the environment and the rules over there, over there in Germany.
Man, that happened too, because it got to a point, but like I said, I dealt with so much racism in Kansas and Wyoming, I was just burnt out on college. They like a lot of my fights mentally ain't had nothing to do with basketball at that point. It was just living, and I just was like, man, I'm tired of this. Then it hit a point where like my mom, she retired from a job early. She was just tired of work. She wanted to work for herself. My dad got laid off from the only job I ever known him to have. Worked for like 13, 14 years. He got laid off. So I'm sitting in my mind, sitting on college camp, like, man, if they could do my pops this, so they don't tell them what else they can do. So I kind of feel like it's on me. I'm already sick of school and the situation that's going on. If I got an opportunity to go make money, I'm going to make money. So I ended up going to a pro camp in Germany. I went over there. I was the youngest player. I was like 19 years old at the time. They was highlighting all these different guys that had pro experience and the people that everybody was coming to watch. So me, being where I'm from, like I said, I'm taught to fight. So I put targets on their back, you feel me? So it was one of the things I went in game by game, shredding them apart, tearing them apart. I'm the youngest player there. So it kind of drew a lot of interest. They like, man, who is this kid? By the end of the camp, I had so many team offers. One of the agents over there signed me. He seen something big with how young I was and what they could do over there. So when I actually got my deal to go play overseas in Germany, I was the youngest American pro player in Europe at the time. At 19 years old, went over there, boy, came back a man.
Yeah.
But that's why I say that situation with Wyoming shaped me for the rest of my life, because after I went through that, I felt like I could live anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot of kids these days, and some that take them trip when they have to go overseas or go play over there, like they got to bring family with them. They got to bring a mom or they got to bring somebody with them. Me, I went over there on my own, solo, not knowing nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I figured it out. But at the end of the day, those experiences what shaped me. So that's why I'm not scared of anything. Ain't nothing in this world gonna fear me except for the fear of God. Other than that, I survived that, and I can survive anything. But yeah, Wyoming definitely helped me with that, man. But yeah, I was 19 years old in Germany, bro, holding it down, just figuring it out.
Man, that's tough. That's tough.
No, nothing, on my own.
Man, I want to ask you, like, what was because Germany ain't just like a skip and a hop. So, like, what was your first thoughts when you arrived in Germany? Like, that's what I want to know.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't remember. It was like a blur.
Yeah.
I knew getting off and I'm looking at all the signs, like, have no understanding of nothing. But what they made it easy on you, because at the end of the day, when they're waiting on you at the airport with your name, so you kind of know what you're looking for in that sense. And then the people, a part of the team, was so hospitable. They take you in. They brought me around. They brought me everywhere I need to be. Showed me what to go, where not to go, and they get everything. You know what I'm saying? So that helped me maneuver. But it was different, bro. Like I remember, like walking on the street, man. You seeing guys at the bus stop with AK-47s. You know what I'm saying? Tucked in the belt. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling at the bus stop, chilling. Like, but they was always cool with me. As an American basketball player, like they showed me love. So. And where I come from, it was it wasn't too much out the norm. I just the fact they spoke different language other than that. But I go chill with them and talk to them on the way to the store and everything. They always made sure I was good. Like, need anything, I'm like, yeah, I got you. If I need you, I'm gonna holler at you. They look for me,
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't too much. It was a different experience for sure.
Nah, that's dope. I had to ask about that, man.
Nah, that was different. different. But first, you don't know what to expect.
Tell me about the other trip.
Huh?
Yeah.
Tell me about the other trips, like the London and playing in the ABA and the D League at the time. What was that like?
Yeah, that was a journey. Like, that was a part of my life where I be saying, like, with guys, you know if you really love something, if you really go through whatever to chase it. A lot of guys these days don't love it like they say they do. They like it a lot, but they don't love it. Because at that point of my life, I wasn't doing nothing but playing. Once I gave up school to go play ball, I was playing ball by any means. The only reason I stopped playing ball because injuries took me out. So the game of basketball everywhere. So I had from Germany, London, Cyprus, which is one of my favorite stops, one of the most beautiful countries I done lived in. Like I say, the ABA, the NBL, PBL, all kind of leagues. You just name. I signed a D League contract right before I got hurt. That's when it was the D League. It's the G League now, but it was the D League back then.
Yeah.
So I was grinding my way through every, USA Select. I was making my way through all these different channels of basketball, just trying to get back to where I can, get my feet, get stable, where I can make, good enough money to support my family and really, help my people out. So I went through everything, bro. Like, it was the lowest of the lows. I'm playing in the gyms with 4 or 5 people in the stands to, playing on some countries, playing on international television, with 12,000 in the stands. So I done seen all sides of it.
Yeah.
And it was definitely an experience, but I don't take nothing from it. I learned something on every stop, though, man. I call it taking the stairs. I ain't taking nothing ever came easy to me. So, like, I was always built for whatever comes. So when I got knocked down and had to grind my way back to get where I needed to get, I wasn't tripping on that, man. I just love basketball. So if it had 4 people in the stands, I'm going to play basketball. And to this day, if it's 4 people, I'm going to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? If I get up down that floor, I'm going to play.
Yeah. Nah, that's
I hear you, man.
I gotta ask you this, man. Who would you say like was the toughest defender, you went against in your career?
Man, I don't know, bro. I ain't. Okay. If I had to say RIP, Ryan Francis. It was 2 Ryan Francis and Torrey out of Glen Oaks High. And Ryan, went to USC, he passed away, when he was playing at USC, when he came home. And Torrey and they was Coach Aga always had tough teams. His players, they always were tough. Like, you're going to be in for a wall when you play Glen Oaks. And they was younger than me. The next year they went undefeated in one state. But the year before my senior year, we had battles. We battled all summer long on something. And like they kind of made it rough on me, but it helped me, like I said, after a while though, I was gonna score the ball, bro. At the end of the day, like, people I tough defenders, but I ain't none could really ever say, man, I locked him up. I don't think I can't call nobody like they can say, man, and they can see this anywhere. And anybody pop by the door and say, man, remember I locked you down? I don't think you're gonna find it nowhere. I'm gonna find a way. Like, it's that ball going in the goal, bro. Like, I got free throw line 10 times. That ball going in the goal, bro.
Yeah.
But I know cool. Defenders. But even then, I still find a way to put that ball.
Yeah. That's hard.
I hear you, dog. So, man, so since you said injuries had, took you out, you could play like you wanted to play no more, what made you say, you know what? I love the game so much, I'm going to coach it?
Man, that wasn't even planned, bro. Like, I never envisioned being a coach. I never had aspiration to be a coach. It was never like one of the things like, man, if it don't work, how I go coach? I always felt like I was gonna be a businessman. I graduated with a business, marketing degree. So I never knew that coaching would be anywhere. I just felt like once I was done playing basketball, I was gonna be a businessman somewhere and just run a business. So it got to a point where, like, I had pins in both of my Achilles. I had 2 casts on, man. It took me 2.5 years to run again. Like, I was always back down to nothing, overweight, just nothing. Like, I'm in a wheelchair, had to work my way out of a wheelchair, had to learn how to walk again, all this different stuff, bro. So I'm fighting through adversity day in, day out. Like I said, it took me 2.5 years before I could even jog or run again. Then it got to a point where I had that surgery. It knocked me back and it put me in a place where they was talking about rehab and how long it would take, because normally you have surgery on one leg, you got the other leg for support as you rehab. But I had surgery on both of them at the same time. So by me doing that, it was going to send me back for rehab because I couldn't use either leg to support. So I had to wait till both legs fully healed to even start rehabbing. So when I realized that, I said, well, I'm about 2 years plus removed from being able to play basketball again, if I can ever play ball again. What can I do now? I started working on business plans. I started working on different things that when I got up out the wheelchair that I would be able to go execute. And then one of my guys who I had a relationship with, who I played for, he like, man, I'm dying coaching these guys. I need help with these younger guys. You relate to them better than I can. I think you'll be all right with this thing. And, I'd already helped them before. So I'm sitting like, bro, I don't know if I want to coach, but, I'm good with people. I understand people, you know what I'm saying? And he invited me to come help him coach. And that's just how I kind of got in that space. It was just a guy who I done busted my butt for calling me back saying, hey, you done gave me a lot. So I know you understand what I expect. And you can help them understand what I expect. So that's how I came back into that space of even being around basketball and even thinking about coaching. Then when I got there, it was just man, it was easy. Like a lot of stuff I watched people struggle with, it came natural to me. That's when I realized that I had a gift, and people start telling like, man, you got a gift. Like people, the way they respond to you is different than the way they respond to others. Like you're able to get more out of them. Like I was able to get more out of our players than the head coach was in most cases, and like not intentionally, just being me, doing what I do, and like and at the time, like I said, I was a former basketball player, so I'm coming up out of a wheelchair. They watching me grind, trying to just learn how to walk again. So if you watch somebody trying to learn how to walk again, what's your excuse?
Yeah,
you know, like it kind of rubbed off on them. And then I spent that whole year trying to rehab myself. I didn't have no kind of health insurance. I couldn't go get therapy. I couldn't go. I ain't had no insurance, no money, no income. The job I took only paid me $231 a month to drive the van. So I ain't had no income to go do nothing else. So it was really getting out the mud every day, getting up, getting to the gym before the guys, working on myself. And by the time they walk in, I'm in the gym in a full sweat, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to teach myself again. And I think by them seeing that, it kind of gave them no excuses for nothing. Because when it came down to it, I had to get in their butt, man, I don't want to hear that. Like, you see what I'm going through. So then I think that kind of helped me, and that kind of set me straight for like the rest of what my career is going to be. As hard as I worked in basketball, I was going to work the same when it came to getting it out of guys who want to play basketball.
Yeah. Man, so like with you being on both sides, coaching and then being a player, like as a coach, what would you say separates a good player from a great basketball player?
I think from good and great, the great ones know who they are. That they understand who they are. The good ones, are talented. They do some things well, but they don't necessarily know who they are as a player. And all the great ones know who they are on and off the floor. If you ask somebody great, they know they know how they tick. They know what makes them tick. They know they have a why. They know why they getting up early in the morning doing what they're doing. They know why they putting their body through what they putting their body through. They know why they got to recover the way they have to recover so they can continue on. And they know what they're doing it for. The great ones just know, man. Like that's what I think separate a lot of them, man. A lot of people still playing this game to this day, be 20, 25. They don't know who they are as a player. And that's why I give credit to a lot of one of the kids that I brought up. Mark Vital is just the fact out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, the fact that he learned who he was and he embraced who he was. And that opened more doors for him to continue to be who he is. And that was one of the things I always, like, man, because he would get frustrated when he was younger. Like, don't ever be that guy that somebody got to call a play for you to be successful. Because that means in life or whatever, your success is going to be dependent upon somebody having to put you in position to be successful. But if you learn how to be successful when they ain't got to call your number, that means you're going to be successful by any means. You're going to put it on your own shoulder to figure out how to go. And then at that time, nobody can determine what your success is. But if you allow other people to do it, you're going to let them determine how you're going to be successful and how successful you will be. But if you put it on you, you ain't going to box yourself in. So at the end of the day, a lot of that's what I think the greats and the goods is where you separate the two. Just knowing who you are, embracing who you are, and allowing yourself to flourish. Because if you're still confused about who you are, you can never be your full self. You can never reach your fullest potential because you're always gonna be you're gonna be in a battle with yourself. When it's time to cross over that hump or become great, you'll never get there because you're still at war with yourself. But when you know who you are, when it's time to become great, you can accept it and take that next leap because you know exactly who you are. And you know what's guiding you there, and you know what's gonna continue to get you there. Ain't no confusion at that point.
Yeah. Hey, that's that was knowledge right there. Like that like, would you say that applies to just more than like basketball? Because that's what I kind of started taking it in as. Like that's kind of like a life philosophy right there.
Correct.
Like,
correct,
man.
definitely. And I live my life as a basketball game. It's weird in a way, but it gets me. That's the way I get through, man. First quarter, bud. Okay, here. Second quarter, halftime. Third quarter, fourth time. It's a little tight, bud. Hey, like you got to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? So I have to coach myself through life all the time using lessons that I can relate to. I can relate to basketball. That's how I move. That's how I tick. I don't know nothing else.
Yeah.
So when you talking about that being a life lesson, like that's it. Like greats, you can always flourish even in life outside of sports if you know who you are. Because I know what pushes my button. I know why I'm getting up every day. I know why I do what I do. I know why I'm going as hard as I'm going. I'm not confused about that. My goals are still changed. Like I said, my path didn't change, but my goal never changed. You know what I'm saying? Then when I accomplished that goal and I set new goals, it might take me different paths, but you know what I'm saying? It never changed. And somebody said something one day that always stick with me too. It was like write your how they go, write your purpose in pen, but write your planning in pencil. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't no along that plan or that path, you might have to erase something, blow it off and start over again. But the purpose never changed. You know what I'm saying? The purpose ain't the same. So yeah, man, like it's definitely a life lesson. I live my life as a game. Not as a game joking but as a real life, hey man, you gotta win. You gotta find a way to win your day. I'm gonna find a way to win my day. If I win my day after that, I can move forward. If I feel like I ain't win my day, then I'm not going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I on the loss. It's the same thing when I play ball. We lose, I need to watch film. I need to figure out where we went left. I need to figure out what I need to do. I need to get back in the gym and go put up some shots the night before I go to bed so I can feel like I can get started on the right track for the next game. Same thing in life. If I ain't won my day, I'm not going to bed. But if I feel like, okay, I did everything I said I accomplished it, cool. I can reset and get ready for the next one. So I just live my life as a basketball game, bro. It come to me like that.
You put that so perfect, dog. We gotta thank you for that knowledge you just dropped on not only us, but to everybody listening right now, man. Y'all gotta apply that for sure. Let's switch gears a little bit. So obviously we talk about sports on here and music and stuff like that. My squad, well, I don't really got like a favorite squad. I just rock with Bron and other players. So I gotta ask you, like, who is your squad, or like, do you got a squad, or is you rock with a player in the NBA, and also do you rock with the NFL as well?
I'm a Bulls fan by heart. Always been a Bulls fan. Jordan went through. My dad was a Bulls fan. In football, I'm a Cowboys fan. My dad was a Cowboys fan. But also in this day and age, like I done had favorite players. Used to be, my favorite player used to be D-Wade before he retired, because he resembled me as far as like my journey. Like, not because I feel like D-Wade was the best player. I felt like LeBron was better than him in a lot of things. But I felt like D-Wade was one of those guys kind of counted out a lot. Route wasn't as easy. And then when he got on the big stage, you gonna know why he belonged on the big stage. Whether it be, him coming down from what it was 2-0 against the Dallas Mavericks and winning 4 in a row. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much almost averaging 40 a game, to say I went with an old Shaq who had the worst final numbers you could ever say he ever had. So that's just him willing his way to say, coming back off of injuries when, a lot of people kind of gave up on him. He come back with the Olympic team that year with Brian, with Kobe, Melo, and all of them. He lead that team. Like, basically letting you know, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a lot of grit, a lot of toughness, a lot of fight in him. So that was always my favorite player at that point. Then, like I said, when he retired, he just started getting, I ain't gonna say weird to, I don't know what else, but whatever. Like, but now I'm a KD guy. You know what I'm saying? I love KD. Like, he's my favorite player now. Him and Brian. And it's weird because in these days, like, it's like you can't like KD or you can't like Brian. You gotta like one or the other. Like, I like both of them. And a lot of times I give Brian fans a hard time because it's just funny to me. But KD is my guy at this point. Like, I'm big on him. Like, who's growing on me, who's starting to grow on me a lot is like Kawhi, Greek Freak. Those guys are starting to grow on me. But right now, I definitely think Brian's getting older. Brian legacy is already what it is. No matter what, he can never go win another game. He is who he is. So like that's unfazed, that's untouched. So but at this point, I do understand he is getting older. He's not the Brian he was 5 years ago. And I think KD's right there at a point where he had one of the worst injuries you could ever have in basketball, and he came back and like he didn't miss a beat after missing almost 2 years of ball. Like, that's kind of unheard of. I ain't never Kobe, anybody you can name never did that, but I knew it would be that way because of all the tools that he possessed, and his game never relied on explosion and and all that to get to where he had to get. So I know he would still be fine, but I didn't know he would be that good. And that's coming back also missing almost half the season because of hamstrings and COVID and everything else. Like, he still didn't play a full season when he came back, and he was still that good.
And not to interrupt you, but I want to ask you, since you say KD is your guy, like, so that means better than anybody, because like you said, when KD went crazy this postseason, everybody was like, yo, KD going. It's like, have y'all forgot who KD was, bro? Like, KD he get buckets, bro. Because I was tripping, like, why everybody talking like they surprised? Like, this is KD we talking about. So can you tell us like about that, bro? Like, to see him bounce back, like you just said.
Man, I wasn't surprised at all. I called it. I knew, and this is the point where he averaging over 40 and still shooting the same percentage he's shooting or better. But what I did know was when Kyrie went down and James Harden went down, I knew a lot of other guys were gonna suffer from it. I knew KD was gonna do what he do, go by 50, close to it, but everybody else around them was gonna be out of whack because you got to think when them guys go through training camp and they go through an 82 game season, guys like Joe Harris who led the league in 3-point shooting and got in the playoffs and couldn't make a shot. It's a fact of when you understand how pros roll. Pros train to get to their spots. They know where their shots are coming from. They're not in the gym just working on everything. Yeah. Joe know it. When Kyrie's on the floor and James on the floor, he know where shots coming from. So when you remove those two pieces, now Joe Harris got to go get shots in a way that he ain't worked on getting shots all season long. So that's why people want, man, he missing shots that he normally make. But he's taking shots that he hadn't taken all year long, out of rhythm, you know, off the bounce. Sometimes he got to put it on the floor and try to get to the cup. That's not what he do. So yeah, KD was better, and KD showed you. I could facilitate, I could rebound. If you ask more of me, I can give you more of me. But if I don't have to do it, I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, KD there was a lot of good and bad that came with it, bro. He showed us that, man, I could do this every night if I really needed to. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what scouting report you got. Everybody knows it's hard to do that in a 7-game series because everybody is night in, night out against the same people. They're gonna make adjustments every night, every game. But he still said, I'm still gonna get you 40 by 10 and close to 8, 9, or 10. You know, I could do that. But so you've seen that side of him. You've seen things that his playmaking ability, his ball handling ability, his passing ability. You've seen it, but he don't always have to do that. But I think the team around him suffered because they were put in spots where they not KD. So he could play, he could get outside his comfort zone and do things and be successful. Joe Harris and them can't. You know what I'm saying? You know, Blake Griffin, them, you know, Jeff Green had a good game, but Jeff Green couldn't come back and do that again after the one good game he had. You know what I'm saying? So things like that, you learn about pros, man. Pros train a certain way, they prepare a certain way. So once you take them away what they used to, sometimes, man, it go completely left on you.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, bro, I got a two-parter I want to ask you, man. What made you want to be a sports agent, and how did you meet one of the greatest artists and his sports agency, Lil Wayne?
Actually, I'm not an actual sports agent. That's the thing. I run all operations for the sports agency, so I'm not the actual licensed agent, but I handle all the day, and I'm been here since ground zero. This year 5. So I helped build this whole agency from ground zero. So I had a family, APA family, the Anheuser-Busch, their family started Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens. They're like one of 17 wealthiest families in the world. And the grandson of the Anheuser-Busch family is an actual basketball agent. And he's also the guy who's one of the co-owners of the agent. So when I was coaching Mark and all these other kids in high school, he just wanted to get relationships. He was young, trying to find his way in the game. And me and him, you know, clicked. And I seen what he was about. He seen what I was about. And I was like, man, we could really make this thing bigger and blow it up. And then on the other side, Mac Main, who's Lil Wayne, right-hand man and president of Young Money ENT, is my blood cousin. So his grandmother and my grandmother are sisters. So, and Mac was always a big fan. He used to follow our high school team. So we played, like, he'll come pull up and watch us get down, because we always had some of the best guys in the country. We was always one of the best teams in the country. So he was like, man, y'all got heat. So at the time, they was trying to figure out what to do in the sports space, because Wayne, a lot of his friends are athletes. So, and he's always trying to figure out how to help them, because a lot of these guys in the off season, they losing money. They need loans. They need advice. So he was like, man, I just need to get in space so I can help a lot of my friends. So that was his vision on wanting to start a sports agency. So I told him, like, and at the time, bigger companies were shopping, trying to use the Young Money brand. They was trying to, you know, pay up to $5 million, just trying to use the Young Money stamp to help them, you know, do things and do marketing and other stuff. And I basically, you know, we told Mac, like, bro, look, we can handle the sports side. Like, I come from this side. I know it. Just need opportunity. And at the time, like I said, the work was already done. I ain't have to get ready. The resume was already solid. You've been coming to the game. You see what type of players I go get. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he like, man, it was taking a chance, because at the end of the day, they got a brand that they've been building for like 16 plus years. That's one of the biggest, most successful brands out there. So he couldn't fumble and put no BS on that stamp. So, he kind of, so we met about 6-7 times, different cities, just pulling up, convincing them that this will make sense, you know? So after that, he finally, like, man, he bought into it. He gave me opportunity, let us off and running with it. And from then, we've been off and running, man. Like I said, going into year 5, we done made so much ground in this game already. And the route we going, you know, is really unexplainable. and it's unmatched. You know what I'm saying? We done had a top 3 and a number 30 pick all in the same draft in our first 3 years. You know, there's people been in this game 20 years, they never had a top 5 pick. Then I came back the next year with a top 5 pick in the NBA. I had a top 5 NFL and a top 5 NBA pick back-to-back years with another top 10 NFL pick after that. So it's like you see the success in the way we've been going, the way we've been growing. You know, it all check out.
Man, that's dope. That's dope.
For sure, man. Congrats on that, man.
Appreciate it.
So, talk to us about Mark Vital, man, because that's an interesting story. And with 4 years of Baylor, undrafted, then go to the summer league, play with the Trailblazers, go to the NFL tryout, and now he's on the roster. So explain to me how the hell do that. I'm still shocked off that.
Man, that's all God, bro. I couldn't have wrote this script. No, like Mark, I said, Mark has always been wired, and he always was a tough kid out of Lake Charles. Like, he gonna get it out the mud. Like, he always was tougher than everybody else. You know, and he always had a switch that, and me and Coach Ray always laugh about it. Like, man, we are the same. When he going, I don't care who in the gym or it don't matter who going. It ain't gonna matter. When he going, ain't nothing like him. He always had a different switch than everybody else. So once he finished like basketball, like Mark got a unique story. See, Mark is totally opposite of what today's climate is when you talk about sports and parenting and all this, you know, AAU team. Like these days, you might go to a tournament on Friday, see a player with an AAU team on Sunday, they playing with a whole other team at the same tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like that it's different these days. Mark committed to Baylor as a freshman after his freshman year of high school. Like, and not only did he commit it, he stayed committed. He made it to Baylor after we moved to Dallas. Like, out of Lake Charles, me and Mark moved from Louisiana together to Dallas because he needed a better opportunity. He needed to get out of his environment because, you know, he had grade issues at the time. Just, you know, like a lot of issues that he needed to fix, and he had to be in a structured situation to pull himself out of that hole. So we had to make a move to Texas to get his grades, his academics together, as well as, you know, mold him as a man and teach him how to grow and do things as a man. So he made it to Baylor, like, which most people didn't think would happen, you know, especially with him playing at Prime Prep and API on a national schedule. He's playing on the national scene all year round. So, you know, there's other schools coming like, man, we need that kid. But he stayed committed to him. He stayed loyal to him. Not only that, he gets to Baylor. Baylor's first year. You know, a top 100 kid, a recruit, gets to Baylor. He has to redshirt his first year. Now, he could have played, but he wouldn't have played much. And the coaches was honest with him. Man, he going to play about 8 minutes a game. Like, do you want to burn a year behind 8 minutes a game? And Mark was like, man, I'm going to earn my minutes. You know, just let me rock, book. Look, I get it. Slow down. You know what I'm saying? Take this year, develop, get better, get stronger, you know, all this, that, and other. Because physically, he was ready. But, you know, he had some things he had to work on to get on the floor. And Baylor was the number 1 team in the country that year, his red shirt year, too. Mm-hmm. So they had talent, you know, and they had the best power forward in the country. And Jonathan Motley that year, he was the Karl Malone player of the year. So Mark was playing behind some goons. Mm-hmm. So I told him, like, look, so red shirt, which a lot of kids these days, they don't believe in red shirt. And they want to get on, they want instant gratification. The success don't come instant, they don't want it. And if it don't look how they thought it should look, they leaving. The transfer portal gets deeper and deeper every year. Every year, the transfer portal, people transfer like it's nothing these days. If it don't work out, they leave. Mark stuck through the commitment. He stuck through red shirt. The next year he got on the floor, he started as a freshman. The next year as a red shirt freshman, but he wasn't playing a lot like how he thought he would play. And that's when, you know, a lot of other coaches came calling. Okay, can we give him the transfer? We can help him do this. We can do that. No, he gonna figure it out. You know, it's a growing pain. It's a growing phase for him. Like, we're not bailing out. I don't believe in bailing out. You know what I'm saying? Look, you're going to stick and stay the course. So even Mark got frustrated. Was like, man, should I transfer and go to junior? Because his roommate ended up transferring, going to a junior college. So he's thinking, should I do the same thing? No, that's not your path. Your path is grind it out and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So he trusted me on that. He never asked again. He went through it, went through 4 years. Then his last 6 months is one of the craziest runs you ever hear. Big 12 champion, NCAA national champion, first one in his family to graduate with a bachelor's degree for free from one of the top 50 universities in the country. You know, got a car deal, you know, with Alan Samuels out of Waco he got a Dodge Ram for free. You know, him, you know, he signed with Lil Wayne sports agency. You know, him and Wayne collabed on, you know, some stuff as well. And he played with the Portland Trail Blazers in the NBA Summer League. And now he he with the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL. He's gonna be the first kid to have his name on the back of an NBA and an NFL jersey, let alone doing it in 30 days. He was just playing in the NBA a month ago, less than a month ago, and now you in the NFL. Like, you're a different kind of athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't training for football. Mark wasn't training for football. He had no football trainers. He had none of that. Like, we getting out there figuring it out on our own. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he had a different gift. And what's crazy about the Seattle thing was he went to Seattle with they had 16 practice squad spots. 14 of them was already taken. So he went there with 2 spots open or whatever. They had 8 players in that workout yesterday. After 8 players, they sent 7 of them home. They kept him. So, you know, like, it was one of those kind of workouts, like, oh, we see something here. Like, so that you got to be different. And if that didn't work out, like, you know, you had Buccaneers reach out. You know, they wanted to take a look at him. He's going to have other workouts, but he went to his first workout, killed, and he ain't need no more after that, you know. And this is a kid that hasn't played football since middle school. He wasn't training for football. He went through the whole pre-draft process training for basketball. And as soon as basketball was over with, we knew that the writing was kind of on the wall that he had to give basketball pretty much everything he could give it, vice versa. The game gave him everything he could give him. He had to make a decision. Go grind it out in the G League for the next year or 2 and try to earn your way, or switch gears. And at a sport that a lot of people, even Russell Wilson, was saying, like, he's more natural of a pass catcher than he'll ever be a jump shooter. And when you see the type of hands he got, he catches one hand overhead. He don't bobble balls. Everything when he catches sticks, I'm sitting like, I never knew this. I never knew he could play football. You know what I'm saying? Until they started Russell seeing him. That's really how it came about. They played against Wisconsin in the NCAA tournament. That's Russell Wilson, old school. Mark, they throw a lob. Mark go up and lob back here. Boom. He running the floor. He rebounding. He bullying people. So Russell hits him in the DM like, hey, man, I think you make a great tight end, you know? But I'll keep up with you. I'll follow you throughout the tournament and see how you do. You know, let's talk at the end of the season. So Mark goes through the play. He bullying people, rebounding, running, jumping, dunking. They looking at how big he is and how well he moves. He moves really fast. He jumps really high for the size he is. And if you could go catch a basketball and dunk it, I know you could go grab a football. So they were looking at how it translates, and they were right. I mean, Russell was spot on. When you see him on the field, it looks like he's been doing it all his life.
Yeah. That's hard, man.
So tight end is the position you went for?
Tight end, yep.
Man.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
So
I have another Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people compare him to Antonio Gates. You know, basketball transition, the way the type of body build he got and all that. Yeah.
Gates was the man, man. That's
Julius Thomas too.
Yes. Yes. Man. It's a blessing for sure.
Before I transition to NFL, DJ, you had anything else?
Man, I just wanted to hear that story because, you know, they made the headlines, but I wanted to hear from you, or hell, one day we can get Mark on here one day. You never know. So I just want to hear from his people or his.
That was great.
All right, appreciate that, man.
Yeah, we'll get him on. You know, like I said, Mark one of the guys. Process, man. And the process paid off for him. Yeah. He didn't quit, backtrack. He stayed. He kept his head down, and he ran his own race.
So speaking of the football game, man, like, who do you see in the Super Bowl this year, or do you kind of still want to wait before you give a prediction?
Man, it's hard right now because I haven't really seen none of the real first units out there yet to know who got what.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I don't want to jump out there because I don't know who got what. Like after about week 3 or 4, you know, I kind of be able to look back and say, okay. But I mean, if you had to go ahead of time, you got to go with either, you know, Seahawks or Kansas City coming out the AFC. Now the NFC, man, I don't see nobody beating Brady, man. If he stay healthy, man, like he a wizard. You know, he a mastermind with this. And he not only him, he's the ultimate leader. Like, not just him, he gets whole teams prepared to do what they do. And I always tell people this too, like, when you pay attention to that Bucs team last year, they got better as the season went on because they didn't really have an off season. He signed late, COVID hit. So they off season and trial was throughout. They had to get better throughout the season. And they got better every game. And they had the number 1 defense because this is the thing. Imagine if your defense going against Tom Brady every day. how good do you think you're gonna be when you go against these other quarterbacks? Because not only that, you sitting in film, you breaking down film with the best quarterback all time. He's telling you your tendencies. He's telling you where you're weak at. He's telling you how he's picking you apart, what your tendencies are. So when you get that, you can fix those things from week to week when you got that guy on the other side. Because he's not watching film just to see what his offense is doing. He's watching film to see what his defense is doing, what the opposing team's defenses are doing. So you're always 2 steps ahead of the game. So that's why I'm kind of like, man, NFC, man, it's just, I think he light years ahead of everybody. As long as he stay healthy, I make that. I'm bold enough to make that pick before seeing them on the field.
Man, I'm still sick because we beat the brakes off from both games, and they paid us back in the postseason. So I'm like, man, dog, why he had to come to the NFC South out of all? But I'm like, I see why, man, with all them weapons over there. But I'm still sick off of that, man. But I gotta ask you, everybody hype about the Titans, and I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm hyped to see what they're gonna do with, you know, Julio, Derrick Henry, and they got the other beast over there, AJ Brown. So I mean, I'm trying to see what that's gonna look like. And the quarterback too. I be forgetting his name sometime, man.
Yeah, I forget his name too, but I know exactly you talking.
Yeah.
What's it? Man.
I be forgetting his name.
Yeah.
Is it Tannehill? Tannehill? Yeah. Ryan Tannehill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think that's going? Because some people like, you got some people who say they think it's gonna work, and then you got some people who's kind of like, it don't really excite them. What side of the fence you on?
I'm always go with who's your leader, and that's why I always go back to the Tom Brady thing. Like, you're right, y'all beat the brakes off them twice last year, but that third game, they was a totally different team from when y'all played in the first 2 games, because every week they adjusting. And when you got Tom, who has film on y'all from 2 games beating them, you're not gonna beat him the third time. He already knows everything that y'all gonna do, not gonna do. So when I'm looking at Tannehill in the space, like they have a lot of success, but when it comes to those playoffs, I don't see him, like, when he get down to the end of the season, I don't think he got nothing else that he can pull out his bag after 18 games. And then it's kind of like he is who he is. So I think he kind of like saying, like, he hit a wall. Like, he hit that wall and he can't get through it. He can't get over it and he can't get around it. That's why I'm more so big on Brady, because it's like, after 18 games of him, he's still getting better. He's just getting started. You know what I'm saying?
Started, man.
That's the difference when I think about leadership. It's like, Tannehill get that, it's kind of like he gonna be who he is. When Brady get that, he might do something that he ain't seen all season long. You know, he gonna make some adjustments. And you can't, and everybody's not built like that, bro. That's not easy to do. You can't go a whole season with a team and then switch it up, 19, 20 games in when you're in the playoffs and expect it to work. Like, he one of the few that you could ever do that with.
Yeah. And Brady, like, he reminds me of, huh? You go ahead, DJ.
Brady gonna have to prove me wrong, because I'm still shocked. Brady gonna have to prove me wrong. I'm still shocked off that shit. I was going for Kansas City. I can't stand Brady.
Hey, love him or hate him.
The only one that I don't really rock with is the game against the Raiders that year back in the day, where they came up with the tuck rule all of a sudden. That's kind of the only one I'm sketchy about. I'm like, bro, that wasn't right, dog. Like, I don't care what nobody say, dog. That game right there, that's just
that GOAT title. I don't know about that.
I do think he the GOAT, though.
Yeah, look at it. They was supposed to be the Giants.
I think I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, though, he at least
he's still the GOAT, though,
supposed
bro.
to be at least 12-1, if you want to call it, because how you let the Giants beat you twice? That was like a 4-year separation.
The Giants was good, though, bro.
And then my Eagles beat you in the Super Bowl, so that's how I look at it.
Bro, you talking about straight hand Giants, bro, and prime Eli Giants, though,
bro.
Right.
And they had the number 1 offense that year, and then don't forget about Randy Moss, one of the greatest receivers of all time. So that's what I'm saying.
That Giants defense was pressure, like. It wasn't no scrubs.
Like, it wasn't like the Giants just went out there and beat them. Like, the Giants did, they put themselves in position to where they won that game by having Brady on the bench. It wasn't because Brady went out there and sold out, threw an interception, or they were up. remember the helmet catch that was this close from touching the nose of the ball, this close from touching the ground? They was that catch away from losing. Like on defense, it wasn't on. I feel like that was no Brady. Brady needed his defense to get a stop. They were up. They get that stop. Brady went. But if it was on the flip end where he had a chance to go win that game, I promise you he would have won it.
They almost won it, ran him off, They pushed him and he fell down. Like what, 60 yards Ray was about to go, and he ain't catch that bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, it's hard to go against them. I think what solidified it for me is that year when they came back against Atlanta. Cause I'm like, bro, there's no way. I'm like, there's no way Brady is. I'm like, he about to lose this one, dog. And for him to come out that locker room like that, like, y'all think y'all really finna win? And I'm like, he got it, bro.
That was the sickest.
That's tough. 21 in football, like this, it's different for basketball. Yeah, bro. You up in the NFL and by 21, bro. That's most times out of that's a dub. You gonna win it. But
with a half of football left, with only one half of football left, and you ain't got nothing. Like it ain't like you was down 21 and you found out, okay, we had this working for us. Let's capitalize on it. They had nothing going for them in the first half. Like, so they had no momentum to build upon. Like, how did you even know where to start? Nothing was working.
Oh my goodness!
It just take one touchdown for Brady, and he just go right back to the sideline. Like all we needed was one, and you just know you in trouble. Like you just like, bro, here you go, here you go.
Yeah, and I'm not a Bucks fan or none of that, but I just hard for me to go against the man, bro.
Yeah,
because time I went against him, I thought Pat Mahomes was going, and then he go spank Pat. So I'm like, well, I guess Barry me a lesson. Don't ever count me out. So I'm one of them that not usually, but I'm a believer now. Like I'm just not gonna count him out.
Yeah.
Like I say, he got to prove me wrong, bro. I ain't gonna give up that easy.
Man, how much more proof?
That's what I'm saying. At this point, he got 7 of them.
Well, just say the Buccaneers gonna win. Since y'all so scared, just say Buccaneers gonna win the whole thing this year. Somebody gonna whoop their ass.
It's just a respect thing, man.
Right. It's more respect. Like, hey, if somebody knock him off, great. But if not, hey, man, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's tough, man. But DJ, if you got anything else, bro, before we get up out of here, you can go ahead.
Nah, I'm good. Y'all already killed my vibe with that Tom Brady shit, but it's all good, though.
This man ready to hang up on us, man.
Yeah, ask him who his squad is.
He said the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
We beat them Super Bowl, so I'm not really that mad. Shit, we beat them.
Now Eagles got the worst fan base ever now.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Cowboys, hey, you a Cowboys fan, bro.
Well, hey, I ain't got nothing to cheer for, so I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got a horse in the race. We ain't gonna win no time soon. So
that's
what it is.
Man.
You know what, man? You are the first Cowboys fan I actually heard be truthful, dog. Cause I ain't gonna lie, Cowboys fans, y'all are kind of over the top. It's like some fans we know, bro, we probably ain't gonna win this year, dog. But Cowboys fans,
delirious.
I'm like, dog, y'all make people not want to rock with the Cowboys. It's like that's because that's everybody in my family, bro. Cowboys.
I get it.
I'm like, man, I gotta chill.
I get it. I be actually surprised when we do win. I be like, what happened? What went left? How we won that game? I be trying to figure out how we won.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think y'all gonna be too. Y'all shouldn't be too bad, bro. Y'all gonna get some games in. So
y'all might get 7 games and we get about 10.
I see how it goes. I'm just gonna let it play out, man. Shit. Hope for the best.
You got the Eagles getting 10 games? All right, bro. We
gonna what your Saints gonna do? They just performing for the last decade.
No. We gonna see, man. All we can do at this point.
They're gonna be good in the regular season.
Yeah.
So
we not about to mess up my night like that, man. So we just gonna we gonna move on.
Good luck.
But yeah, man, we want to say we thank you, dog, for giving us a little bit of your time today, man. Coming on, rocking with us on this great episode, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Like I said, I had a good time, bro. I stepped out, been grinding all day now. Been able to come do this here. It's good for me, man, to be able to step in and do these, man, whenever I can.
Yeah, dope, man. So before you go, man, let the people know where they can find you on your socials, and like if you got any kind of announcements or anything you want to promote, you can do that right now.
Instagram, YM _ Boog BOOG 32. Twitter, HBOOG 32. Pretty much it, man. Rocking Young Money Apple Sports and Entertainment. Nightlife.tv content company, as well. Also, that's one on Instagram as well. Nightlife with a K, KNIGHTLIFE.TV. That's another spot, you can capture and keep up with a lot of things that's going on, like a lot of updates that's coming that we gonna, change the game with. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all heard it here first, man. I go by one.
DJG94.
And we out. We'll see y'all next week.
Love.